Hello. Just getting the camera right, or trying to. Hope you can see me. It's evening time. It's a bit kind of dark in here really, and I know I've got the light behind me. So it's not great, is it really, the lighting in here? But never mind. I want to show you something on video in a minute. But the reason why I'm making this video, as you know, I make these videos basically to empty my head. I'm getting questions in. I say I'm getting questions. I've probably 4 people, maybe even 5, have said, do you miss the travelling life? And please forgive me, I've ignored that. I've just literally ticked because to say that I've read it and understand it, but I haven't mentioned it. Because I was going to do the video at a later date really, but now it seems like a reasonable time. Yes, I miss the travelling life, of course I do. We'll talk about that again in another video, because I'm going to make a video about the transition into bricks and how I feel all about it. That's at some stage anyway. So I was thinking, what do I miss and what did it give me? Now I miss so much about the travelling life, and of course I miss all those things that it gave to me. Simple as that really. And it's new friends, but I can still go and see those friends if and when, which is good. I think now that I've got time to reflect properly, I think the travelling life gives you 3 things, or has given me 3 things. Now I've mentioned in a video, or several videos perhaps, about the kind of sense of peace and sense of freedom that it's given to me, you know. So that is one part of it, which is a big part, obviously, which is why a lot of people choose to live in a van, and they also save a lot of money that way. Secondly, it's probably brought into my life people that I would have never ever have met had it not been for the travelling life. Certainly not for making videos either. You know, when I chose to make videos, when I decided rather to make videos, I found very quickly that people wanted to meet me. I still don't know why to this day. I honestly don't. Funny old thing that really, but I'm pleased that I've met a number of people. Some of those people said, come and stay with us, which is kind of mind-blowing really, you know, why people would want, you know, some bald-headed man in a van to come and stay with them, you know. Quite surreal and quite weird. I was thinking it through. I've just come out of the bath now. I was thinking it through in the bath, and probably without, I keep a written record, a written journal. Without reading that, probably it's something around 30 people have said over the 4-year period, we'd love to meet you, we've got a driveway or whatever, come and spend some time with us. Now for whatever reason I've chosen not to, for a number of people, and I think I've stayed on 5 driveways or 4 driveways of people that have offered, you know, about 30 people, and I chose about 4. And I'm really, really pleased that I did choose those 4 people, and those 4 people are kind of lifelong friends now. You know who you are, and I'm not going to go through a list of people. I'm not going to go through a list of people in this video anyway, because it'd go on forever. So that's the second part. That's, you know, the freedom, the experiences, the sense of peace and tranquility and things like that. Maybe third, I don't know, the people that I've met, an extraordinarily amount of people that will live on in my heart forever. And I could tell a million stories, maybe I will one day. I said I'm not going to mention anybody. If you're out there listening, Roy and Ray, I met 2 people in Scotland who, they really touched my heart, you know, Roy and Ray. If you're out there and you do ever hear this, see this, get in touch please, I'd love to see you again. In Scotland I met a guy who was a recluse, and he told me that. He said he's a recluse, you know, and we got chatting. We didn't say, hello, I'm a recluse. We got chatting, me and this guy, beautiful area, and I said, well mate, these views are stunning, you know, and he had this great big long grey beard and this hair that come all the way down to his arse, you know, long fingernails. Cool bloke, really, really good bloke, and we got chatting, and about 20 minutes in, you know, I said, you're obviously a local, and he said, he was very, very Scottish in the way he spoke, obviously. But he lived on the north of, well, lives on the north of Skye. And I said, what do you do? Anyway, he's a wildlife photographer, blah, blah, blah. Loads of info I got from him. Lovely guy, really lovely guy. And he said, it's funny, he said, I don't normally talk to anyone. I said, why is that? Anyway, then he said, I'm a recluse. He said, I live alone, I choose to live alone, I don't deal with people. All my work is done electronically via email and mobile phones. That's it. So he doesn't speak to anybody, he chooses not to. And he said he'd rather not to. But he said, you, bless him, he said I could talk to all day. How wonderful was that? And I wonder, I think about this guy sometimes, and I wonder if he thinks about me, because if he doesn't speak to anybody, and he said he hasn't spoken to anybody in 4 years prior to speaking to me, so he probably plays or replays the conversation that we had in his head over and over again. Bless him. Lovely guy. Pleased to have met him. There's so many other people as well, you know. So yeah, that's probably number 2, is the amount of people, and they all brought lessons into my life. They all changed me in some way, and perhaps I also helped in some way changing them. Thought patterns, a little bit of help or guidance or whatever, a shoulder at times, or just being there, just listening, just sharing time and space, company. It can be lonely on the road. I didn't get lonely, but it can be. And it can be quite difficult for some people. So if I was there to just share an hour with somebody, then that's a good thing as far as I'm concerned. Just keep an eye on the time, because this is going to be a long video, I would imagine. But number 1, what the van life brought to me. Now this is difficult to kind of encapsulate, really. It's brought a sense of knowing, a sense of being Bry, just being Bry. I know myself now on such a deep level, and I don't think I did before. It brought so many changes to me on a spiritual level, definitely, but also on lots and lots of other levels that I honestly, I haven't got the words, and I could not do it justice, what it brings to you. Life lessons galore, taught me how to be frugal. It's taught me so much, and again, like I say, I really don't have the words. But it's brought something into me that can never ever be erased, never. It told me to stop, sit back, chill out, wait, take your time, think. And I started to look at the system and society and government and life and question why and how do we allow what we allow. It brought all that and more. I did some huge thinking, you know, days and days on minuscule points, thoughts, pondering life. You've got plenty of time to think when you're on the road, when you're alone. It's brought magical views. I'll show you the video and we'll talk again. Okay, so this video, hopefully you're going to see it. I called it Home is Where You Park It. Let's just see if I can hold the camera steady-ish as we go through this. I'm not really going to talk a great deal. There we go. Look at the views. I'm shaking the camera and I'm sorry about that. God, I was skinny and tanned. Now look at that. That was New Forest. You always find park ups, you know, if you look. Kimmeridge, my second home. Now that one there, if I just stop that, oh, let's go back a tiny bit. How do we go back there? Oh, sorry. Just look at that. That's on the Oldswater to beginning with W. Anyway, in Cumbria, it's gone out my head. Windermere, that's right, you got it. Stunning. And I got another photo, and if I only took one photograph in the 4 years, then this is the photograph that I would have taken in a minute. That's the New Forest again, so's that. Always places to park up if you look. Beautiful views. So this is just some of what the travelling life brought to me, you know. I would have never experienced those views without living in Ishi. So Ishi brought me friends, views, and a whole new way of seeing life, a new way of being. I'm trying to hold the camera steady, but I do breathe and I do have a heart attack. Sorry, not a heart attack, I do have a breath. Fucking idiot. Okay, we're going to get to this beautiful view in a minute. And if I could have only taken one photo in the 4 years, then this would have been the photo. That's Wales. That's somewhere in Cumbria. That one. Okay, so if I could only have taken one photograph in 4 years. You see, is she there? Just a little lay-by. Dry stone walls. Beautiful trees. Mountains galore. Look at that. This is the same road that I mentioned a minute ago. This is Oldswater to Windermere. I can't remember the road name. A456, I don't know. Anyway, so that photograph I love. There's 2 or 3 that I love, but I always ignored all signs. See more, do more, be more. And you certainly do. Ah, beautiful. I remember every single one of these. I remember taking the photographs. I remember how warm it was, how cold it was. They're not all beautiful views, but they're beautiful in a different way. I've got one in a minute. It's a cold, cold, frosty place, and it's an industrial site. Now that is stunning. Really off the beaten track. That's Woodhenge. That's Creech in Dorset. Always little country lanes, look that I parked at, and just different places. Like I say, you always find a park up somewhere. That's my Christopher McCandless pose from Into the Wild. Graveyards, part of so many of them. Water, bins, solitude. That's Wales. I took this video, I took these photos long ago, long before I even went to Scotland. Yeah, like a hat, get over it. So many places, so many beautiful views. So that little van, well, it brought lifelong friends, it brought views, it brought adventures, it brought fun, it brought a whole new way of thinking and being. That's the cold, frosty night. A little bit of snow, Bodhi's first ever snow. You would have seen this video before. It's called Home is Where the Heart Is. That's Water. But I just thought I'd make a video and have a chat really. Okay, just another minute left on these photographs. Got a little way she looks. Glastonbury tour. Yes, I made this in the early days. This is like year one, these photographs. I've got loads of photographs. That's the Rollright Stones, always a good park up there. Got loads of photographs to go through at some stage if and when I can be bothered. Home is where you park it, there you go. So that's that little video for you. Nice to be off the beaten track, not another living soul there. Okay, really enjoyed looking through those, and they were all taken, like I say, in the first year, something like that. So the life has brought to me a million different things really, from the sense of peace and freedom and learning that you don't need money to live really. You need a small amount of money to live, and we get so conditioned that we think that work is all important and paying big bills is all important and things like that, and that's a load of rubbish. We don't need that, not to be happy. I know many people who live on very, very little, and I tell you, they've always got a smile on their face. I didn't live on much money, but I had a great time. Never worried about it. Luckily, my art sold, which is great. I'm getting back into it, so there will be some art up soon. You can be self-employed, you can work on campsites, you can just find a couple of days work here, there and everywhere through employment agencies. But it brought that into my life. It brought people into my life. But it brought something that can't even be explained. It taught me who I am. It taught me to be me. And taught me the important life lessons, like it's more important to give, to love, to share, than to do most other things. Be there for somebody, care, deeply care. That's what it taught me. Before all this, I was stressed, I was conditioned, I was working full time, I had a big mortgage, did all the usual, and not one of those things ever made me happy. But I tell you, the van life made me happy every single second. And the more and more I think about it, I loved it. Will I ever go back to it? Very, very doubtful. Possibly buy a day van one day. Certainly not for a year or two. Get my health right and see what the score is then. Whether that's likely, I don't know, but it's a possibility. Who knows? Watch this space. For now, we're doing okay. Yes, we missed the van life. Yes, the transition. It's not difficult, but it's different. I knew it would be, you know. But we're getting there. So, all good. Take care and be well. Try and be glorious.